What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope everybody stayed out of the charts today. Now, I don't we did trade down into this weekly and daily fair value gap that I was talking about in yesterday's video. In fact, let me preface this. Guys, if you haven't watched my weekly review that came out yesterday, go and watch that now. I'll make sure to link it. But anyway, let's get straight into it. You see, we traded down into the weekly and daily fair value gap. I've been pointing us out to, but don't let this fool you. It's only Monday. We do have CPI tomorrow, and I am anticipating more of a deeper trade down into this fair value gap. Now, I know I've been talking about this fair value gap and going on and on about it, right? And now that we've finally just traded into it, like, you know, more significantly than the previous 3 days, this still isn't enough for me. Because, and I say that because one, it's Monday. Two, I believe that what they're doing is they're engineering this liquidity to come and get tagged. So I wouldn't be surprised if, say, tomorrow price came back down one more time to sweep stops before moving to the buy side liquidity. And also, it's very rare for, like, say, let's say they did trade into this daily fair value gap, and this is the low of the week. It's very rare for Monday to create the low like that. So don't be fooled by this kind of movement. We can see we've dipped down into this sell side liquidity. If anything, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to move this sell side liquidity below this low now. And everything that I've said in yesterday's video pretty much still remains relevant. So we have this breaker here, low, high, lower low. This breaker block right here, this last up close candle. I'm watching this again to still get traded to. I would like to think that tomorrow will offer it. But again, with CPI, very low probability, and I don't really want to say too much. But yeah, I'd like to think that price can come down here. If that's the case, and it does come down here, and I get the reaction I want, which means, you know, a strong trade away from this area, then I would start hunting for buys with an expectation to run up to this buy side liquidity and towards our weekly bearish order block. Other than that, you can see we're pretty much just being held in a consolidation, which is completely fine. Drop down to the hourly, and one thing I do want to bring our attention to is this accumulation on this side. So we've accumulated on this side, and this is what we call distribution, right? And you can see we're going through quite an ugly consolidation right now. But if you just look at this range, this is accumulation, and this is accumulation. And if we drag this right through, you'll see how we're consolidating within this range. Now, what I'm waiting for is for price to, you know, expand outside of this range on either side. Again, expectedly, I'd like to think that price will come lower, grab these stops, and then turn around and run through the consolidation to start running for these highs. That's what I'd like to see. But I literally learned this today in one of his videos. He was in his Model 8 chartered member video. He was explaining about these consolidations, and that what we're witnessing right now, this back and forth price action, this is simply just time distortion, and we shouldn't let it get to us, basically. So yeah, but I'm just waiting just for like some more significant expansion. Another thing you want to take note of is we did actually run a swing high right here. So at 10 a.m. you can see we took out this swing high, and then we came back on ourselves. So buy side has been tagged. We've also took out sell side liquidity. So again, we are going to continue to stay in this range until price is ready to, you know, actually create some movement. And I can imagine CPI is very well going to start to trigger that. But yeah, overall, I'd like to think that price will dip lower still, running into our breaker block. Here's Alexa, stop. Here's that breaker on the hourly as well, so I'm going to get that marked out in purple for us, because why not? And again, I'm anticipating price to want to trade and touch that before running to the upside for the rest of the week, because remember, we have a big week. We still have PPI, we have retail sales and all sorts, and CPI is only on the Tuesday, so CPI might be what creates that nice low of the week before we can start hunting for these buy stops to the upside. Now, let's say price doesn't come down to this sell side liquidity and these relative equal lows, this low and this low. Say price continues higher, that's fine, and we very well may just trade into the buy side liquidity first and then expect some kind of midweek reversal. If that's the case, that's fine. How I'm seeing it, or what my plan is that if CPI offers this, then I will start hunting for longs on dollar and shorts on the pairs. If CPI starts pushing price higher, I'd be a little bit more weary, and I probably won't be getting too involved. Why? Because it's not going to what I'm expecting. Simple as that, guys. So yeah, that's what we saw today. Let's go over to GBP USD. I've already got some marking outs as you can see, but I'll just make sure to clear it out. So remember, this is my target for sell side liquidity. I'd like to think that we can get down here. And on the 4 hour, what you'll find is that we are trading again. This was the point of distribution on the downside, right? So on the upside, this is where we're accumulating. So we anticipate consolidation. And I do believe this is time distortion. Once this is all over, this time distortion, once this is all over, we'll look more deeply into it and figure out, okay, how can we anticipate this in the future? But overall, I'm still expecting this breaker to get traded to, which is right here. Again, yes, we wicked into it. Not enough for me. I want to see a significant sweep. I want to at least close on the 4 hour inside and then turn around. So this breaker, you can see, lines up beautifully with this fair value gap as well. When you have two PD arrays like this, a breaker and a fair value gap, it makes it just that little bit more stronger. So again, high, low, higher high, and we've broken lower. My expectations is sell side liquidity. But overall, I'd like to think that, again, CPI maybe, or in the morning, we can trade higher, run out these stops, which I believe they have engineered in. Remember, this is the price engine we're working on. So I'd like to think that we can trade into that and then start looking for reactions to start running lower. So that's still my expectations. Nothing's really changed compared to from yesterday's video. Finally, we'll finish on Euro USD. Again, I've got some drawings already. Let's go on the daily. If you watched yesterday's video, again, I'd like to think that price could reach down into the south side down here, but you can see how today we traded a little bit higher. Again, digging into the fair value gap that we've had our eyes on. So here's the fair value gap on euro, and you'll see that we actually filled that quite nicely. It traded into this breaker right here, but these three down close candles are the breaker range I'm actually looking at. So from this high to this, from here, this is the breaker range which I generally have my eyes set on. Again, I want to see if the price can push into that. Now remember, euro is weaker, so what we may witness is that euro may fail to trade higher. So remember, I'm expecting this high to get taken on GBP and the same low to get taken on euro. Let me say that again. I'm expecting this high on GBP to get taken, and I'm expecting the same low on dollar to get taken. But euro, because it's weaker, may fail to do so. And if that's fine, that's great. That will show SMT divergence. And then again, we can start hunting for shorts on what pair? Euro. Why? Because it's the weaker pair. And you can see how euro has had a significant break in market structure here that I don't think GBP had. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so you'll see euro's taking out a significant swing low, whereas pound hasn't done so. So that's something to consider moving into the new day. Again, CPI guys, stay wary. Let's add dollar, see what dollar's done. I don't think dollar did it either. So dollar did take out a low just slightly, but not in the same way that euro is. So these are the things we need to consider. But again, same thing. I'd like to think, I'm thinking that they engineered this in just to get taken or snatched tomorrow and then run lower towards this and start moving to the expansion of the week. Let's go to the hourly. So again, you'll see that these points on the way down are points of distribution. So on the upside, we anticipate accumulation to be happening here. For example, this up close candle, if we drag this down and drag this out, you'll see how price is kind of playing around in there. But remember, I'm anticipating price to trade a little bit more deeper inside of there and grab some more stops. Again, I wouldn't rush into the charts anytime soon, and I'd just keep an eye on this swing high and wait for expansion. When you will know when there's expansion. For example, after CPI, we'll probably see a significant displacement when we can start looking for shorts. Until then, I'll probably just be a little bit more careful and cautious. And yeah, we'll see how the rest of the week continues to play out. So I hope you found this insightful, guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.